Welcome to FoolTime, yet another Friday night at the workshop. You're watching More University. My name is Edie Tuchek, and as always, I'm here in the relatively cool and chilled workshop while I'm working on some figure dioramas that hopefully I can take next month in August and takes a figure photo with it. The result of the previous streams you can watch behind me. Hi Dara Barak, welcome to the stream. I put it together like yesterday for a short little tryout. Hi there, welcome. Glad you could made it today. As you can see, I've already started with some coloring. You know, now is the time to paint this whole thing, and yeah, the windows came together really nice with this mixture of real wood and paper craft and some 3D printing. Windows XP. So yeah, I still had like Windows 10 here on this PC. But now it's upgraded to Windows 11, I think. But yeah. So yeah, but basically this is still all loosely put together, like some sort of build-up blocks, and I will continue to paint this. I just noticed that I still have to do some like horizontal lines here in the window, so I just prepared them. I can glue them together. Yeah, I also found out that there are like plentiful of stickers available with some street art or graffiti inspired like motifs. Usually you can place them on your like on your smartphone cover or on your like laptop, on the backside of your laptop. So I guess I will order some of them to have a nice little base to cover all of this, because most of this thing will be covered in like stickers and graffiti and tags. It does not remain so clean. So most of the things that I now work on will actually be covered up in like random shit. So yeah, let's see how this goes. And I also have to order a little miniature skateboard for the scene, and maybe I find some more things that I can use. But I still have to take advantage of my soon ending Prime month, so I can just order random stuff. Speaking about, I really like how you created the bricks texture. Yeah, the brick texture is came together quite nice. So this is like the thing where the laser was super helpful. Of course, you could have done this by hand, just cut it with the knife, but it would have taken considerably longer, even with like putting the file together and everything. So yeah. Yeah, the tech deck, yeah, fingerboard. I think fingerboard must be the ideal like scale for a 1/7 scale figure. I think at least it's not too much off. So, but speaking of about random things, finally today I remember to bring the funny magnets down to the workshop, because I found like some funny magnets that I had in Vienna on my fridge, and I put them into like this little pouch, and then I store them in a junk drawer and forget about it. So now I can like, I mean they aren't all funny, it's just, you know, some of them are basic, but on the board I have those classic red ones, like the red button thingies. Oh shit, the camera is buzzing out again. Oh my god. Hopefully it does not do this like for the rest of the stream, because I guess the camera will be defunct soon. But yeah, let's see. Otherwise I have to set it to I thought I had set it to a fixed thing, but let's see. So we have like those are just basic, I guess, IKEA magnets, but they are kind of cute. Yeah, they are from IKEA. even is the sticker. And those magnets, they really are not very good. They just barely stick to a magnetic wall by themselves, but if you put a sheet of paper between them, they just fall down. So then I have like bird magnets with like some, let me see, can bring you a little bit closer. Some bird magnets that say rude words. This here say eat shit. This is cunt. This is like go play in traffic. This is like talk shit, get hit, and this is like your mom. They are like, it's from an artist alley thingy that we bought like years ago. So those are funny. Then I have like also, wow, this is like super discolored. I guess this is from also from an artist alley. I don't know if I bought this or if I got it with like some convention tickets, but this is like a Ramune bottle thing, and it's a magnet. So also cute. Then I have some like plants in pots. That's okay, I think. And some Dachshund, very nice. Some Dachshund goes well with the, I guess it's what's it called? A Sittich in English, like a bird thingy. And then I have a guinea pig, a black cat, some weird looking. No, that's just some leaves in a vase. I thought it's like a weird fruit, but yeah. And then I have a second guinea pig. Why I have two guinea pigs? I guess you can't just have one guinea pig. And then of course I have super special here is the Casali rum cocos. This is like a sweet thing, an Austrian sweet thing. It's just like balls of chocolate and a little sugar pouch inside, and it's liquid filled with rum. And then I have of course the Manna wafer, the wafer, and that's actually, I mean, this like should resemble a pouch as well, like a package of them. But this is actually kind of close to the, I mean, not the size, but you know, this looks like a miniature Manna Schnitten package. It has a magnet back there. It's not. I don't know if this is doll sized. It might be doll sized actually. I've never thought about this, but this might actually be like 1, 2, 3 smart doll sized. So if I broke off the magnet on the backside, I could actually use this as a prop for my dolls as well. So yeah, I have those. I will not put them on the board yet because, like I said, the camera makes me a bit nervous. I guess I have to replace it soon. I hope I can, like, I still have warranty. I have to wrote to China about the warranty. Maybe they will like exchange it. Okay, okay. So that's the green screen. I already know the green screen. That's nothing new. That's not the camera breaking down. That's just some sort of bit rate. A Dachshund, yeah. You have guinea pigs too. Oh wow. I mean, I had a guinea pig once for a couple days, but because we had a guinea pig as a school pet, it was in elementary school. But sadly, compared to like mice or rats or what's the other one, the hamster, they don't live as long, I guess. So it's a little sad that they have such a short lifespan. But yeah, it's those cute animals. Yeah. Yeah, I said it. They don't usually get very old, so it's a bit sad. Okay, I just can't take this. Put this far away. Also, I can remove the window as well, like so. And so I ran out of color. That's why it looks like this. But basically, this is like the original texture. Then I painted it with some like warm gray. But I thought this doesn't look like the stone wall in the picture, so I just covered it with a second layer of concrete mixture. And now it's almost like the that color in the photo. And I think this has also a nice texture. I really like this cardboard that I bought. So yeah, but let's do a first layer to stay consistent with everything. So maybe it does help. Maybe it makes a difference. So I don't know. Brownie, he looked like the cake coloring is the same, 5 years old. Yeah, that's quite old for a guinea pig. So I mixed something together. This is quite the amount of paint, but I will use it all though. That's the problem. You can never like tell how much you need if you mix something, and therefore, yeah, if you run out, it's hard to get the same consistent color done, because also usually I don't really like care or remember what I mixed together, and so you know I don't have a recipe that I can recreate. But this is like pretty much the same. I mean, it's a bit like glossy when it's wet, but that I'm fairly proud of this mixture. And so for the first layer, I can just prime this, so to say. Yeah, hopefully I can finish this in like mid-August. I mean, basically the structure, once everything is painted, it is not too far away from completion, because like I said, the graffiti will be mostly done with stickers. Some of them I will attempt to paint with the hand, because I have like a couple of like Sharpies up there, and maybe I do some stencils and just press them against and add some color. I have to buy a glossy top coat spray for the columns as well, because those are glossy in the picture for some reason. I guess they are some sort of marble material in real life, so they are a bit glossy. And I guess to have a glossy top coat spray is not the best, not the worst investment you can make. Of course, I will buy a cheap one from the hardware store or the department store, just to seal it off with a bit of a gloss. So yeah, so I hope you had a good week. It's Friday again. Summer is still hitting us very hard these days, so I'm kind of glad that I'm wearing an apron because I'm spritzing around with the paint. But yeah, I'm glad that I can be down here in the workshop and work on my figure diorama and don't have to be in the studio and filming or editing. I did this like yesterday, and it was all like, or no, it was on Wednesday. Yesterday I did some editing, and I found out that I did not record one portion of the script, so I have to do this tomorrow, because tomorrow in the morning I will try to attempt to finish the editing on this like monthly recap video of mine, and I have to, basically do a reshoot, but I will not do a reshoot, because I will just like simply edit it in like one of those editor notes. Toffee passed away when he was 4.5 years old, but he was older than Brownie. The most guinea pigs I ever had, same 3 was Deluxe, Freddy and Leo. It all started because I was basically playing Judgment for my sister's guinea pigs. And somehow I ended up with my own. Oh. But aren't they like pretty much just night active? Because what I can remember because we had like this classroom guinea pig that was like in our classroom, and of course like you see it in the movies, on the weekends some of us had to take him home and care about him. And all I can remember is that late at night I heard him like rattling around in his cage and sucking on his like water bottle thingy. So yeah, I guess they are like more night active than day active. I mean, I guess most rodents are, but I really don't like that this is so loose here. For some reason, I did not glue this together very well. Welfare for children. Oh. A friend of mine had or like also got like roped into one or two guinea pigs not long ago. Yeah, but dachshund is like I never had a real dachshund. We just had one with the curly hairs, the famous Rauhaardackel. There's a difference. I guess there is like normal dachshund. There is a long hair dachshund that has a little bit like really long hair, really soft though. And then there is this like Rauhaardackel that is almost like it doesn't really feel nice. The fur is more like a really stiff brush. I guess like a pig in some sort of way. A pig also has like this, you know, the hairs that you make brushes of. And he was pretty annoying because he really barked a lot and was not so well trained. Also very short-legged, of course, and a little bit over-fat, a little bit chubby. And you could not like lift him because not because he was so heavy, but because he did not really enjoy it. And once you try to attempt to lift him, he just wiggled himself out of your arms and he wanted to stay on the ground. But because of his never-ending appetite, he was the one of the only dogs that managed to climb the stairs in this house pretty regularly, because upstairs and of course down in the basement as well, we have like pretty scary stairs. So they aren't like normed or like very well put together. I mean, now they are a bit better because we renovated, but still it's very steep stairs. And this little dog, you would not have like imagined that he can climb the stairs. I mean, going up maybe is not the problem, because going up most of the time isn't a problem, like for cats in trees, for example. But going down is also kind of scary. But as soon as my great-grandmother cooked something and he heard the clattering or something from the kitchen, he was up the stairs. And then he waited until the meal was done and everybody ate. And then he like said, okay, nothing is happening here. And then he went down, and that got like every day. And the other dogs that we had, even though they were like larger, had larger legs, they never like took interest so much in the first floor. They just stayed on the ground, did not so care so much. Our pigs all day active. Okay. I mean, that's better, I think, if you want to have like a night's rest. But I gotta say, I guess I will never have like animals at this point, like pets. Even though I love all animals, I adore them. Every time I see a cat on the street, I try to like I see if it comes and if I can pet the cat. Sometimes you can, sometimes they don't care, or they will just run away. Dogs, I like dogs. I mean, I was a really big dog person when I was a child. I really enjoyed dogs, but now it's like, okay, it's okay. I mean, gotta say that nowadays I'm still like in my opinion, too many people have like dogs or pets in general, but you know, to each their own. For me, as a person who likes like really cleanliness and clean rooms, a pet would be very productive. And of course, I also don't like having a pet like in a cage all the time. I don't like the idea of that. I guess a fish tank would be fine, but I know how much work a fish tank could be. And if you do this like really as a hobby, or if you want to, you know, care about the fish in a good way, you just have to like do the fish tank, maybe not in the most prominent spot, but if you want to have it as a decorational item, it's another, because when the whole axolotl craze hit a couple years ago, we were like looking up what it takes to hold to have an axolotl, and then we learned, okay, the water temperature must be very cold, so basically you can do this at home. You have to do this like maybe in a basement of some sort, and yeah, it's just not my thing to care about an animal. Okay, so this one is all done. I spilled a little bit on the already finished side, so I guess I have to do this again. But now I can do the second side. Or maybe I just rub some paint into those crevices. I used to have a short-haired dachshund. I got her for my 11th birthday. Ever since I was a child, I always dreamed of having a dog and kept begging my mom for one. Even helped out as an animal shelter to show responsible enough. Oh, oh, that's so sweet. I mean, that was also what I was thinking. If I really want to like be around dogs more, I could always volunteer at an animal shelter. I think, but you know, many people own now cats and dogs. Just yeah, I think so. That is also what I like as a cynical person always think, or often think when I see like people walking around with their dogs, because I always think they can't all be like lonely or in desperate need of companionship. It's like, especially in the suburbs, it is often like an accessory, like a box that you check. It's like, okay, I have my house, I have my car, I have my pool, I have my grill, I have my like carport, I have my dog. It's like boxes that you check off of a bucket, like a bucket list of some sort. Hello unknown, how are you? Supreme storefront, yeah. I'm still working on the Supreme storefront. Let me switch the camera to the second place, as long as it's put together by now. I'm now started to paint it, so I can place this here, because I can dismount the other side. So this is what it looks in an unpainted state. Windows are also already finished and painted. I'll just have to glue them together at some point, and I also have to do a sort of like base thingy, like a sidewalk, because now it's standing on this wooden sheet, but this will be like also some sort of like sidewalk thing, because I will see it in the picture, so I have to come up with something. So okay, so we have to, that's the basic structure. It was like this, and then I added all the layers to it, and now I just prime it with some warm gray and then with some concrete thing. Like put in a small bag. It's not the size of the dog. I mean, there are like ridiculous small dogs. That's even like another thing where I'm not like sure if this is the best thing, you know, because of like all those breeds that are basically just so far off from what a dog or what a canine should be, that it's almost like some cruelty by itself. But you know, some people can't like have a big dog. I get it. But yeah, still sometimes when I see people walk around with their dogs, especially in Vienna. Here it's a bit better, but in Vienna I was always like, they don't really seem happy about it, that they have to be like walking the dog around the block just to see him like shit in a corner and then like go home. Doesn't seem like an enjoyable thing. So I was always like, I don't know. But yeah. And I also sworn to myself, as long as I can take full care of a pet, like be with him all the time. So basically, as long as I have to work full time, I will not like get myself any animals. But yeah. But like I said, I like animals in general. I like the concept of an animal. I like my birds in the garden. Funny enough, since we now renovated the garden, I see less birds, especially on the lawn. I think it's because the lawn is basically dead. I mean, it's not dead it's very much alive and very green, but it's like such a homogeneous thing. So it's basically just grass, that there aren't many bugs or something in there. So a bird will notice that this is just basically one step above like AstroTurf. Oh, thank you. Yeah. I also think it comes together quite good as a like standalone structure. I hope I can really take a nice picture, because that's always the main goal. Like I said, it does not really help if I think, okay, this section here looks really nice, if the whole like composition of the photo does not look as convincing as I hoped it would be. Because as I might have noticed and talked about it already, the inside, where you can now basically see the tool rack behind, I will just put a monitor behind it, and there are like tons of in-store like panorama shots of a Supreme store inside. So I will just fake the inside of the store. I will not attempt to model this, because otherwise it would like take until Christmas. And yeah, hopefully the outside as well, I can like just frame it in a way that you won't see that it's just like a front, because that's always the main issue with those fronts, that you basically just see that it is not a real like dollhouse or a real building. It's just the front. I mean, it's a bit deeper than some other things that I built in the past, but still. You might see that it's just not so substantial. But you know, in a pinch, and if everything goes wrong, I can still like zoom in and focus heavily on the figure itself. That's always a nice trick. But that would also mean that I basically built this all for nothing, because you build it and then you just see like 10% of it on the screen, most of the time as a blurry background thing. So yeah. And then it's also like, what I'm even doing here. But I also enjoy building it. It was a nice like build. But I also gotta say, at this stage of the project, I already mentally checked out, and I'm like looking for ideas for my next project. But basically, I just, you know, I already know what I'm doing after that, and so I'm already planning for this mentally in my head. But still. Check out. Check out. It's also a great way to get rid of my AK panel liner, because I basically use it to weather the front so that I can buy a new one, a Tamiya one, if I find one. And see if this one is any better. But I gotta have the feeling that this weekend I will just spend a bit more time in the workshop than usually, because I want to flee from the heat. But then again, who knows? I mean, I still have to edit the video, though. Luckily, I finished the review of Teo in time before it was like super hot. I even managed to film myself with the jacket on, so pretty nice. By the way, speaking of jacket, this week I found out that we will have a company celebration, like a company dinner, because we have a anniversary coming up for our like branch, for the branch building that we are currently are. And when I first read about the like invitation or the save the date mail, I was like, okay, this is like a cocktail party in September. And I was like, okay, I don't know if I will attend this, because it read like basically more like a clubbing, so that meant no food, no buffet. And I know from our Christmas parties that we basically have to pay for the liquor, so you get like beer and wine to accompany the dinner. But you at once the bar opens, you basically have to pay for your drinks. And I was like, I don't know if I go there if there is no food. But now the like real invitation was sent out, and it basically is just they combine it, because if you you know, if you RSRP or something like that, it basically says thanks for joining our Christmas party or something. And I was like, that's interesting, did they not change it? But then I found out that it's really like a combination of anniversary and Christmas party in September. So we will not have like two big company parties, in one in September and one in like basically November or December. Yeah, so I was like, I knew that they would cheap out. And now I have like a Christmas party in September, and I was like, that sucks, because usually September can still be pretty warm and still can be pretty hot. So yay, wearing a tuxedo or wearing a suit with this temperature, because that's always the nice thing about like parties or like gatherings in December or in the winter, that you just can dress nice without any consideration of the weather or the temperature. So yeah, it's always like the problem if you are invited to a wedding or have like a funeral and it's like summer. It's always like, oh shit. Yeah. Oh yeah. This is really relaxing to paint it like this. Don't have to take care about anything. I still don't know what I will do with it after the photo shoot. It's one of those bigger projects that looks so nice that if I will just throw this away once the shooting is done, I will get heavy flack from even my mom, because she's, you have to keep this, and I was like, what should I do with it? There are two ways. Either I just throw it away instantly, or we'll just dismantle it, store it, and we'll rediscover it in like 2 years, and then I will throw it away. It doesn't really matter, because it's like I said, it hopefully looks nice in the picture when everything is like framed and taken into composition, and with the right lighting. But as it is, it looks okay-ish, but it's not a complete dollhouse. It's not something you could display, you know. That's what she was like also about. Sell it, Ron. But I don't know how to sell it, to be honestly, because she was like, even if you get like $10, and if I get $10 for this, I'm also like feeling a bit like, you know, what should I do with $10? This doesn't help me, and this doesn't make me feel better in any kind of way. So, and usually they are, especially this one is also like pretty heavy, because now I can just use like sturdier materials, because I can like just laser them. So it's pretty heavy, but also kind of fragile. So it's not the best thing to ship those things. So it's not as easy to say like sell it. I mean, if I would still travel to conventions, I would like take those sets and display them there. I would just, you know, get a table, organize a table, and just display them there. But since this isn't an option either, but maybe I will keep it. Let's just store it somewhere. Maybe I'll display it somewhere. $10 is $10. Yeah. I mean that's correct, but still, it's like the thing is like, if I sell it, and I will just you know, try to get like what it's actually worth in terms of craftsmanship, and what maybe some people might consider paying for it, it would be a hard sell. And if I just basically give it away for free, just a symbolic euro or a symbolic sum, then, you know, it's just a facade. But maybe it is fitting, because it is a facade. You said you visited convention. Yeah, I visited convention like in my tweens, pretty often, pretty regularly, pretty heavily into con hopping. Yeah. But I quitted that like 15 years ago, and I mean, I still like was the roadie for my girlfriend back then. I accompanied her to all the like events where she was selling her art. But even then, I was not enjoying this as much. I mean, I enjoyed helping her in terms of like being there and like taking care of the booth and just pack all the things and you know, basically be the roadie. But once everything was set up, I was just sitting there, and I was like bored out of my mind, because, you know, maybe I will do a video over the weekend while not visiting conventions anymore for my private channel in German, because it's fitting to the theme. It's just a facade. It's not real, and it's just a facade. Yeah. It's like this one famous scene when the Western saloon is like toppling over, and it's just basically a front. Oh yeah. Sadly, also our like figure culture isn't as strong at our local conventions. And why do I know this? Because I mean, people like to buy figures and to collect them, that's for sure. Otherwise, those vendors wouldn't make any money. But each time there was a figure photo contest, they had like very little entries, and the entries that were there, they were cute, but nothing that would like basically interest me or that piqued my interest. Or there was, not often there was like an entry where I was like, oh, I enjoy this work, or I would like try to get in touch with this artist. We were more like cosplay and traditional art, like drawing, and AMV. AMV was okay for like, it's not about the small community, because we are a small community compared to like US or like Asia, but some things like AMV worked even for a small community. We had some pretty competent people who made them, but figure photos, not so much. I mean, if I compare it to what you can like see on a daily basis on the internet these days. I mean, maybe nowadays people getting more and more into building stuff with Gunpla or with plastic models in general. That wasn't really a thing back when I quit. I mean, Gunpla was still like very niche back then, and other like basically variety kits like Bishojo figures or like other robots weren't as heavily featured. They were really, really not out there, so to say. But then again, you need a couple skill sets to do this. I mean, as a figure photographer, I mean, you can also like just shoot your figures in the open or with a basic portrait style. But there aren't many people who like specify in building stuff and then also like doing pictures of it. Combine all the skills, because most of the time the people who like are good at building stuff or painting stuff like minifigures, they aren't as big into like photographing and vice versa. So yeah. Facebook has a marketplace. Check out the famous Facebook marketplace. I mean, maybe I will just try, just for the kicks of it, to post this on local figure groups. Maybe let's see. Maybe how good it performs. If it performs well as in terms of a set, if the figure photo performs well, it might get rewarded with a new home. If not, I will just throw it out, because like I said, another friend of mine always like wants to push me into the direction, because I mentioned this once, to make a separate video, short video site, like a TikTok account, basically, where I just destroy my creations in the most outlandish ways, just to rage bait people, because some people get really mad if you destroy something, even if you were the person who created it. But but I'm too lazy to do this, honestly, especially to destroy it in a very over the top manner, and also I would just do this like 5 or 6 times a year. So even if it wouldn't make good content, I would have to do this like 4 or 5 days a week, but not just 4 times a year. So this would not fly with the algorithm, I think. So yeah. But I like this idea more than like selling the stuff, to be honest. Okay, so now I guess I have to put this down somewhere. Put the cookie down, because I have to get to the stairs. But let me just grab a tissue so that I can touch the figure itself, and I will just take her into safety. So I will. So now you can see how it's built. Basically, the top part is, that's basically like a big harmonium, harmonia, or like a pan flute of some sort. It's even open in the back. Then we have the column, one part of the column. Interestingly enough, this part here is darker in the picture, in the reference that I have. So, that's the reason why it's a bit darker. Then we have those two thingies. Then we have the other side, of course. Let's put this over here. And then we have the main front. Main front, you can see it's there is the door inside. This side is just with the concrete structure, and this side I've already weathered. So it's a hot potch of and it's now so deep that it stands on its own. This doesn't really want to topple over. But now I have to. This is so heavy because it's like part wood, part foam, and but before I paint this, I have to make it basically imperfect. So all this, I mean, it starts to get imperfections already because I just constantly arrange it. But let me see with the knife, making some imperfections into here, especially on the corners of the stairs. I guess I can also sand those stairs a bit, and then I have to paint it. That's a bit much, but it's okay. I might also do some tile effects. Let me see if I can do some tile effects. A new technique. I'll show you something, but I guess I don't have a lighter that works very well here at the workshop, so I might have to go upstairs and grab a lighter. That's actually a good idea because I want to have a short hydration break. So that one as well. So then we have sandpaper of various grid sizes. Oh yeah. Someone spun the wheel and it landed on run. Just updated the wheel recently, and run is not about the various actors with the name Ron. It's also not about the Harry Potter character Ron Weasley. No, the other day I tried to explain mahjong to my mother. Because I can play Japanese or reach mahjong. And now, since I'm going to Japan, I was wondering if I should practice a little more, like maybe going back to the club in Vienna, the Weasley, yeah? and like get some practice, some in-person play on, so that I might can play in Japan. Because the problem with mahjong is that you can only play it with 3 other people. So basically you can just play it if you are 4 people. And like all games that you can play electronically, like poker or stuff like that, because I can play Texas Hold'em. I only can play Texas Hold'em if I play it on a PC or some electronic device, because then you can't make illegal things. You just click and stuff happens. Same goes with mahjong. You can't really like do any illegal stuff or do any faults. It basically tells you what you have to wait for, and it, you know, the only thing that you can do that you would never do in a real game is to like discard a tile on accident, because you just are not taking, like, you know, you're zoned out and you just click on a random tile that you did not want to discard. So that's the thing. But basically you don't have to count, you don't have to like take care of everything, because like mahjong, you have to mix the tiles and then you have to build the walls, and you have to know when and where to grab your tiles and how to start the game. And it's yeah. There are so many like rules and etiquette to this game that if you don't play it in person against real people, you basically just, you know. And I did not like know it that well, because I wasn't able to count without a cheat sheet, at least, because that's the other thing. If you play against real skilled people, especially in Japan, and you declare a winning hand, you have to basically say what this winning hand is worth. So you just tell the other people. And if you forget something, then nobody will tell you, because it's their money that you want from them. And if you make bullshit up, then they will of course intervene and say, hey, no, that's not how it works. Okay, so I will grab, what would I want to grab? A lighter from upstairs and something to drink. So we'll be back in a minute. Take care, and I will see you shortly, and then we can talk more about mahjong. Okay, and here I'm back again. Brought a lighter with me, and now I need one of my trusty, like, what is it called? A needle. It's a very thick needle, but still, I would say it's a needle. I also have to check once in a while if the microphone is still working, because I'm not sure if the batteries are holding through. So now I can just take this needle and just heat it up a bit until it's nice and hot and glowy. And then I just can like melt the foam, like so. Back in Vienna, I did this so often with my builds. This melting technique. But then I just took a candle, because if you do this like for a really big structure, you might use a constant heat source. And a thinner nail or needle, depending on what you're going for. But the thinner the needle, the more, you know, the better it absorbs the heat. It smells funny. Ah, and it's so hot. It's so hot. Why though? Why? So, oh, it's like, oh, I know. Okay, I know why. Oh shit, yeah, I forgot. Maybe I should have brought the scented candle instead, huh? I only have scented candles upstairs. Last year I overshot. I went to IKEA and I bought so many like scented candles, like the small ones, the tea lights, but I did not use them all in the like candle light time, like December and like January, basically. And so now many of them are still there. Luckily they aren't like get spoiled. I wonder if this is really so bad in Frankfurt. And why is it though? I mean, why is it though? Why is this a thing, especially in Frankfurt? Because maybe it's because of all the yuppie folks that they just would know. There was basically demand, and so it spread it a bit. So this, you can't really see this on this camera. That's always the problem. Oh no, you can see it. Now we have a nice structure, and if we cover this with some paint, it will look quite nice. We still have some space. Okay, so it's just a joke or just a rumor. Oh well. But yeah, I guess I will not play mahjong when I visit to Japan, because those are these things that you might not are like invited to as a foreigner, as a tourist. I mean, we had like people in the club that were playing, especially there was one dude that played mahjong in Japan pretty regular, even like for money. But I guess you have to be really, really, you know, not knowledgeable about certain places, and he was not a tourist. He was living there abroad for a couple years, so he spoke the language, and that helped for sure. So yeah, it's not like going to a casino or going to Vegas and play mahjong. It's more like a back door, backrooms. No, I don't know, like some stingy locale that you can visit. And like I said, if you don't play the game on the same level like the others, people get really annoyed really quick. Ones are terrible inhuman monsters, the other ones are just lie on the streets of... Oh, okay. I get it. I'm really glad that I never like really got into drugs. Not even like cigarettes. I mean, back in Vienna, we just like, I never really liked enjoying smoking pot, because I don't really enjoy like smoking all that much. But we just made some funny bakery, some funny cookies and brownies, and I mean, it was fun to be on a trip, not gonna lie. But the problem was that you could never like dose it quite the same as you could with alcohol, for example. And also you could not like know how long it will last. was the problem. It was like there was one this time where we did like some no, some funny brownies on the day before a convention, and we were just okay, we just zone out. But then the effect just did not went away, and on the day when we had to drive to the convention, I was still a little bit, you know, still a little bit on cloud number 7, and so this wasn't like really a fun experience to have. Because with alcohol, I would have known that if I just went to bed and I will just wake up the next morning, I will just be sober again. And also I did not, yeah, it reeked. I mean, it's not that bad, like the weed smell. I like it more than like pure cigarettes. But yeah, it can be pretty annoying and pretty like, once you know what it is and you smell it everywhere, you know, it's just very, you cannot really hide it. Because this was also like the thing that people told me about like growing that stuff. I was like, because they always say, oh, you can only grow a certain amount. And I was like, who would like check this out if you even grow it? And they said, okay, yeah, basically your neighbor will you know, report you because it will smell even if you don't smoke it, even if it's just in blossom. And so I was like, okay. Honey addictions are figures. Yeah, I mean, also very costly, but in the grand scheme, harmless. I mean, smoking in general as a figure collector might be a big no-no. But then again, you would have be a really like addictive person if you still these days still smoke indoors in your own home. I guess not many people are doing this these days. I know quite a few people still smoke in their car, but even this gets better with like those e-vapor thingies. But I guess not many people are smoking in their own home, especially like younger people. I mean, my grandmother was heavy smoker, and that's also the reason why we had to basically get rid of all the things in here, especially like the tapestry on the wall. We just had to just basically remove it all just to be on the safe side, to not leave any of the smells. But nowadays, I don't think that many people are still smoke inside their own house. When I was a child, not so much when I started working, but when I was a child and I visited my mother's office place, it was still custom to smoke on your desk, like normal. It was just people did it. And now it's so like, you cannot really believe this anymore, that people just smoked everywhere and all the time. Okay, so I guess that's enough. So we have a little structure here. And now let's do the things. But yeah, and also like the constant hungry phase wasn't really, I mean, not sustainable, I say, because having the munchies afterwards, that's another like costly thing. If you basically just raid your whole fridge and eat whatever it's in there. So yeah. Oh, this looks really nice. A good thing this styrofoam is like really made for model building. So it has a nice texture. You can cover it with acrylic paint pretty easily. I mean, it does help if you just sand it a bit to give it even more of a coarse surface, but even without, it's quite good. It was interesting to see how it changes when once everything is like in the color that you want to have it. Because when I don't know, I don't like it if like things are in different colors when I build it, if I use like different materials, and my brain always sees it as different things. So if you then prime the whole thing with a spray paint or something like that, then it looks really nice. But it just looks the same. It's basically the same structure. It only has a different color. So there's a little part that broke off, and I just reattached it. But sadly, you won't see this. That's actually pretty cool effect, gotta say. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, if you want to check out Mahjong, the rules and the flow of the game, the best way to play it in the West is Final Fantasy XIV. Funny enough. I don't know the current state of the game, but I guess sometimes there are like free weekends where you can play it for free. Or if you never played it, I guess you can play it for free until like a very high level. And so, yeah. And it has like a built-in Mahjong simulation inside that people really enjoy, because like I said, it's I guess the best way to play it with other people around the world that aren't like strictly from Japan. I mean, there is Tenno, like it's like chess.com for what chess.com is for chess players. Tenno is for Mahjong players, but it's like just basically JP only. I mean, you can participate, but you won't really understand it because the whole interface is in Japanese, and there are tournaments, and you basically have your ELO and your rating system and stuff like that. And there is no chat function, as far as I'm concerned, especially in the game itself. Maybe you have a lobby or something, but I don't know, because I don't know. I can't read it. I can't really understand it. So yeah. But if you want to check it out, Final Fantasy XIV. I mean, Final Fantasy XIV, of course, is a nice MMORPG in general. So no harm in trying it out or downloading it. Especially if you can play it for free. I can't, because I started it once and then I just quit my account, but it's still there on their server. So I really can't participate in those like month free or like basically free campaign stuff. Even though I would totally not be at this point or this level, I could still get some value out of it. But that's the thing. If you start once, then you have to continue to pay. I absolutely hate the smell of weed, and the sad part is now that whenever I take a public transport, I get lovely privilege of sitting. Yeah, that's the blissful ignorance if you don't know what it is, because I guess there are still people who would not recognize this smell for what it is. But yeah, like I said, it's not. I mean, I also don't be overly alert or have an allergic reaction, so to speak, for like cigarette smoke, because my girlfriend back then was really annoyed by this. Even if like somebody lit up a cigarette in like a restaurant, like the outside of a restaurant where people still can smoke. I mean, they can't smoke inside, but if this restaurant has a nice garden, for example, you can still smoke. What's a bit like crazy or sad, because it really is annoying, especially when like other things are involved, like food. But people like to smoke before or during a meal. I don't know. I don't get it. But yeah, I don't like be like, because like I said, my grandmother used to smoke inside and also smoked around us when we were still like kids or like young adults, and so yeah, I was just like sitting in a puff of smoke all the time. So you get like used to it. It's sometimes, and sometimes it even can be like if you associate it with like a loved member of your family or like some good times, so to speak, you really like you know maybe it's a good thing, or you just get nostalgic when you smell it. But like luckily I don't have this problem anymore, because here nobody smokes around, and so you can, especially in the summer month, if you like want to sleep and you have some window open and smoke comes in, that's annoying. Yeah, but yeah. And in terms of like public transport, I mean, I was using public transport like for a fair amount of time when it was like necessary to get to work, when I was working in Vienna and living in Vienna. But as soon as I did not work in Vienna anymore, I just quit all the tickets, like my annual train ticket and stuff like that. And so I don't use public transport anymore. Maybe like 2 or 3 times a year, and it's like the same thing, like going back to the district where I lived in Vienna. I sometimes have to do this simply to remember how bad it was and how annoying it was, because you come here and it was all rain, it was all rainbows and sunshine, but after like a couple months you get accustomed to this new environment and you start to get annoyed with like little things. But then you go back to to where I lived, and it was like, yeah, it's definitely better now. So it's like just a reminder how things used to be, because even if there aren't many people, but like you said, you have this like constant unlucky streak where you just are confronted with the worst people, either like on the street or in public transport or stuff like that, that are really annoying. Maybe they smell bad, maybe they don't behave in a good manner. They are annoying, stuff like that. It's like the same thing if you fly anywhere these days. And the plane is full of people, like there are like 200 people on a plane, plus minus. You can, for sure that one of those one of those passengers will be a mother with their newborn child, and it will most likely scream the whole flight, or be noisy the whole flight. That's just the name of the game, because it's just a too high of a probability. But yeah, like doing really bad drugs, I never got in contact with it, and never like, I don't even like wanted to experience it, because it never seemed worth the risk or the downsides. I mean, and also like some other like illegal things, I wouldn't even know how to start or how to get it, to be honest. It's like the same thing with a gun, like buying an illegal gun. I mean, a legal one, I guess it's not that complicated. But stuff like that, if you don't move in certain circles, in certain social circles, you are pretty lost how things are done. But even those stairs look nice now. I mean, if nothing like breaks the eye, like this looks like some sort of like cake, some sort of layered cake. But if you paint it all, and now it makes sense. It's like one harmonious oh, I can just take my fingerprints in here and like dox myself with my fingerprints. Oki has to do a new passport because it expires in October, so he has to do a new one for Japan. And he told me the sad part is that this passport that now expires, he basically only renewed back then because he wanted to go to Japan. And I was like, hey, don't passports like usually like expire in 10 years if you make them new? And he was like, yep. And I was like, oh. So yeah. Luckily, my passport is still good to go. I have a fairly new one because I sadly sometimes I use my passport not for travel but for ID. You have to use it as a like with national things. You don't need it anymore as much because we have this thing called Austria ID. Basically a digital ID thingy that is becoming more and more mandatory. A few years ago it was a novelty to have one, but now it's basically you need it to do your taxes, you need it to do your you know, stuff like welfare and so on and so forth. So basically everyone has it now. And of course this one does not cost a thing besides the photo, but it also does expire. So it's so annoying to go to the government bureau of whatever it is and get a new passport. I mean, of course it costs money, and then it also costs time. I mean, the time is even like the worst thing about it, I think, because those ministries, they only have like very tight opening times, so you basically can't just say, okay, I do this after work, because after work they will be just closed. So you have to basically also get some free time from your company to do stuff like that. And yeah, okay, so that's the basic primary thing, layer, whatever. And now for the fun part. Is this covered? I mean, I can just cover it again, I guess. Just a quick refresher on certain areas. I don't think that I will need the top side painted. I don't know. Guess I will not see it. So, and now we can apply the concrete structure on this one, because this looks already dried up. There's a little bit of a difference here in the color, in the shade that I mixed together. So once it dries up, you can see that there is a difference, but it's a small one. And I will now go over this. I was clever enough to bring my drink with me. That tastes weird. It's just like tap water mixed with ice cubes, and then there is a little bit of sparkling water in there. And the Römerquelle sparkling water, I don't know if you have this in Germany. Föslauer you have. I know that you have Föslauer water in Germany. Well, those are the two major Austrian sparkling water brands, Föslauer and Römerquelle. So Roman fountain, basically, in English. And I always like the Föslauer more because, first of all, it's basically our local water thing. It's not Bad Vöslau is not so far away. The fountain, or this, what is it called, a Quelle, a spring. I don't know. but the Römerquelle was always kind of bitter. I think like it has like this bitter, not artificial, but just like some aftertaste that I wasn't really fond of. Especially if it like the carbonation went away over time. Yeah, it has like a funny aftertaste. But Veslauer, really good water, because I hate cheap sparkling water, like the off-brand or the store brand sparkling water. I cannot drink this. Also German sparkling water, terrible. There is like Waldquelle, like I don't know if this is a German thing or an Austrian thing, but this is okay. Waldquelle is okay, can drink it, but other brands are like terrible. I don't know. Also because it's just like sparkling water. There is you can go like brand stuff with sparkling water. It will not set you back a big amount of money if you just drink brand sparkling water. But I stopped drinking sparkling water altogether most of the time simply because I don't like to buy it and carry it home. So this is like the concrete, or yeah. And the trick is to sacrifice a brush, and because this is like the bad thing about those like structure pastes that I recently bought and that I have, that they are a bit like coarse. So if you just apply a really thick layer of this, it has the structure of concrete, but really coarse. It wouldn't make sense to have this on a one-to-one item like a vase or some like sculpture. But if you use it for model stuff, especially on a smaller scale like 1/12 or like even like model train stuff, this would be much too coarse. So you might have to even sand this down afterwards. But if I just do a dry brush method, then you can just basically apply it. And since we used a gray as a prime layer, I want to have this like come through eventually. It doesn't have to be really exact and really covering all spots. Just try to use only really little of it. Only bad thing about this, it basically destroys the brush. You can only use it for that thing afterwards. And after that, you can still like fill in those gaps with a little bit of black color, like a wash, if you want to have it like a higher contrast in there. So, like I said, I did the front with the panel line ink to fake some spots where like dust and gawk would accumulate. This is like a mixture of like a paint, some like coarse bits like sand, and then there are also like small fibers in there. I hope it's nothing dangerous like asbestos, but there are like small fibers in there as well. So, I mean, the bad thing is that okay. So there is like a ingredients list in here with like chemicals that I don't really understand, but it says that it can result in allergic reactions, and if I spray this, however I should spray this, but okay, there can be like droplets that are going into your lung, and there is aerosol or the what is called this the fog don't breathe it. So maybe it is maybe it is asbestos. Who knows? It's like, oh, we can't use this stuff in our like buildings and in public roads anymore. So we have to find another like another field where we can sell it. So but why not just, you know, because if you would like think those are like paint spots, but if you go over this with your finger, this is like, it's like sandpaper. If you can just, it's like snow. It's like, I don't know. And I basically just cover myself in little bits of this thing. That's the reason why I wear the apron these days. I have to wash it tomorrow, I guess. That stays nice and clean. You can also see that it gets a bit like darker when it dries up. So we have to take this into consideration as well. So yeah. So any plans for the weekend? I don't have like any plans at all. I mean, nothing major. Usual stuff, I would say. Luckily, nobody asked me if I could work on the weekend, like on Sunday. I mean, I would have like declined it anyways, because I'm not crazy and work with like 40 degrees Celsius. But if I decline too often, they might not ask me again, and that would be also sad, because then I would lose a stream of income. I gotta say, sometimes it's nice to work some weekend shifts, getting double the pay. Because the double the amount of much is twice as much. I also was under the impression that Ani Night was like this weekend, so our like biggest convention of the year, but it's next weekend. A friend of mine asked me if I could like help her out with basically bringing some of her figures to the flea market there, to the bring and buy, where you can basically sell your private collection. And I was like, no, thank you. She even offered me that I can keep the money, but the problem with this institution is that it's an awesome way to get rid of your stuff, especially on Ani Night, because it's large. Many people attend it. Many people are willing to spend their money because it's one of the largest events in the year. There are definitely conventions where people are more frugal around here, and also for some reason they don't cap your limit, what you can bring. I mean, they cap it to like 100 items for each person, but that's a ridiculous amount of stuff. I mean, especially like one manger is not one manger could be one item, but if you group it together to a series, like if you have like volume 1 to 10 and you group it together, it's still one item, it's not 10 items. If you have like figures, like a set of trading figures, like smaller gashapon stuff, you also can bundle it together and sell it as one item. So 100 is a very fair amount of things that you can bring, especially given the fact that they don't take any commissions. because at the German conventions it usually was often the case that they took a commission fee. Like if you sold something, then like 5 or 10% would remain with the event, like the company or the group that organized the event. But funny night, it's nothing like that. You can just keep the whole amount. So I know many people who use this bring and buy just to basically refinance, because of course it's also like tax free. I mean, just a private, selling opportunity. And if you have a couple nice figures or stuff that that sells well, you basically can guarantee that it will be selling over the weekend. And especially if you are like 2 or 3 persons, like a group of friends, you can basically bring like 300 items, and that's a lot. I mean, even with like figures, I mean, we the last couple of years where we did this, where we basically get rid of most of our collections, we had the problem to bring all the figures to the event, because those are quite large items with those boxes. And so yeah, and then the problem is, and that's the hard part for the money that you have to work for. You have to enter all your items within a system, with an electronic system. You can do this before the convention starts. In fact, you have to do this before the convention starts, like days in advance. And then you get a little QR code. Then you have to place the QR code on your item. With like a figure box, this is fairly easy, because you just like tape it to the box itself with like some tape, like transparent tape. But for other items, it gets a bit like complicated. Like for cosplay stuff, how do I basically package this with like the intent of it not getting lost, or it not gets destroyed over the weekend when like hundreds of people like have it in their hand. But also, how can I just pack it so that people can see what it is? Because of course you can put your costume into a cardboard box, but nobody will see it. So you might have to take a picture, and then you have to print out the picture, and you have to place the picture in front of the box and stuff like that. So there are like items where it's like a bit of a hassle to box them and to price them. And then you have to bring the stuff there. And as you could imagine, with all the people that attend the event, and with like this high item cap, there is a long line of people who want to basically hand over their items. This was the good thing, because basically we were just vendors or people who got like early access to the venue. Most of the time we could skip this line, or at least be in the front of the line. But still, if you haven't had like any like friends who were willing to basically just stand in line for you, it was very time consuming, because you had also other stuff to do, like setting up your booth or take care of stuff. And then of course, when the convention is over at the last day, or if you want to leave, you have to basically get there and pick up all your remaining items and just collect your money. I mean, of course, you could also say that you don't want your unsold items anymore, and they will just keep it and just basically, I don't know, maybe give it away to people or use it as prizes. I don't know. Some people do, some people don't. Guess it depends on the value of the item. Yeah, and the neat thing is, and that's a relatively novel concept that they have, because it's electronically booked in, so to say. There is an app, a very rudimentary app, but it's like a homebrew thing, but still there's an app. You can check what has already been sold. And this is basically a live inventory. So actually, if you have like a couple, like dozen items, and you're curious how much money you will make, you can constantly check it during the event and see what got sold. That's like it's like checking your stock portfolio. It's a bit exhilarating to see what sells, but it also takes away the the surprise, because back then it was a really surprise when you go there on Sunday and collect all your items, what was sold and what wasn't. But yeah, bring and buy at Ani Night is because I experienced a few bring and buys at different events, and it's still the best one in terms of selling your stuff. Buying, I don't know. I mean, when we sell stuff at the bring and buy, our main goal is basically to get rid of it. So we tend to set our prices, because that's the only bad thing at the bring and buy, that you can't haggle with the person, because sometimes somebody is interested in a figure or in an item, but they are just willing to pay you like $10 less, and most of the time you would agree on this lower price if you were there in person. But of course at the bring and buy you can't do this because nobody is there. It's just like a shelf, and if the price is too high, then nobody will buy it. So we tended to set our price at the lower end, what we are accepting to get, and usually the thing's sold. But whenever I visited a bring and buy as a customer, as a client, I was always like shocked about the price suggestions or the price ideas that some people had for certain items. And yeah, I was never like a big bring and buy fan in terms of buying stuff there. Sometimes you find really funny stuff at the bring and buy, especially in terms of presentation, because was it last year or was it like 2 or 3 years ago? I don't know. But sometimes people want to sell their figures, and if you don't keep the box of the figure, you're pretty much screwed, because how will you sell a figure without a box at a bring and buy, where you basically have to hand over the figure and it sits on display without box, like in the showcase, and how you will ensure that it's not getting damaged or basically gets stolen or whatever. And some people like try to create their own boxes out of washing machine, like the dirt, what is it called, like the powder, the torrent, washing the torrent. So they cut out like really small window boxes into the but it was still like the brand of the washing deterrent. So it was funny. Yeah, that's the reason why I keep those boxes ultimately, to be honest, because if I move or if I want to sell the figure, it's much easier. I mean, of course, in some markets or for some collectors, even if the box is like a little bit damaged or not top mint, basically it's just worthless. But as for me, I just keep the box regardless of the condition. I mean, maybe if it's just falling apart, then I might not. But and that's the thing with like bringing figures from Japan, because most of the figures we brought from Japan we sold, and we did not have the boxes, because if you buy figures in Japan, and you buy them without boxes, like I said, they are pretty much worthless. So you can buy really nice, most of the time it's price figures, to be honest, because with larger scale figures, the tracking is like, oh, where are you? I can't see you. I'm like a giant looking through a window, like some sort of Elden Ring thing, like a Dark Souls character, or like the Odyssey, like with one eye I could be a Cyclops. So yeah, like usually it's just price figures, but still you can get them for like 200, 300 yen, which would basically be the price of a coffee or something like that. All because the box is not there anymore, and most of the time those are characters nobody likes, because that's the thing in Japan, even more than here. People are very selective with their characters. If there's like an idol show or something where it's an ensemble of colorful characters, Some of them aren't as popular as others, and their merch is basically because most of the time you buy loot boxes or like blind boxes and stuff like that, is basically worthless. That's a bit sad, but you can actually see if there is like a wall with like keychains and acrylic standees. You can actually, based on the price, because it's all the same item, you can basically see the market value of that of said character, or the popularity of said character. That's actually kind of interesting, because here people would basically, if there is a if you have a series of Nandroids from one show, you would basically just all price them at the same level, I think, because a Nandroid is a Nandroid, and if you buy them, you also pay like the exact same price for each of them. They don't differentiate because it's the main character and it's just a side character. But in Japan, you would, if you are like a fan of a not popular character, then you eat good in Japan. You eat very good, because then you can get some real good bargains. So I'm really curious how much money I will spend there, because my initial reaction was I don't want to spend any money on merchandise, not so much. I mean, maybe very specific things, but maybe I will just get roped into it and get like excited and have the fear of missing out, like I will never come here again, or will not come here again for a while. Maybe I will just impulse buy stuff. But my main resolution was to just spend most of my money on food and like leisure, basically forming memories, not possessions. Like because the thing is, you can wash this brush afterwards, but the kernels, like the sand bits, they are getting really deep into the brush, and yeah, it's hard to get them out. So that's because it looks like this, but it's a good thing, you know. You need those brushes as well. You don't have like all perfect, nice, fluffy brushes for like basically the finest of miniature painting. No, you just need some dirty old brushes that get the job done, you know. There is this German saying that a new what's it called? A basin. What's it called in English? Like the thing you use to mop your floor, but dry. I can't recall it from the top of my hand, but basically a new one does the job good. But then there is like an additional saying that the old one knows all the corners. I've never heard this one. When I first heard this, like this saying, this phrase, I was like, there is a second part to this. It's like the second verse of a song that you can't remember. You know that it's there, but you can't really recall it from the top of your head. The first verse everybody knows, but the second one not so much. Okay, now I just screwed the tracking system. Doesn't know where I am. Maybe it will find something that looks like a face, and then it will. Ooh. Oh man. How's the time? Oh, it's 10:43, okay. So maybe I'm motivated today. I will go for a bit longer. Let's see how things turn out to be. If it's worth streaming, no. But then again, I have to basically I have to get up tomorrow in the early morning. I always want to get up early in the morning, but sometimes I will just take one day out of the week where I sleep a bit longer. but I want to take, I want to wake up early in the morning and edit my video until it gets too hot, because in the early mornings it's still quite okay, the temperature, but in the afternoon it's not so enjoyable upstairs. Can't really do much. So I hopefully can edit it in the early morning. Next review is about the Blue Archive Figma with the bike, or without the bike, you know. It was a special feature where you could like either only buy the figure itself with like the basic accessories, or you could spend 10,000, was it? No, it wasn't 10,000, it was bullshit. It was 1,000 yen more to get the bike. And that's such a no-brainer, because 1,000 yen is like 10 bucks that you get the bike version. And of course I bought the bike one. Since nobody is selling me the second Miku race bike figure, I have the one from 2015, I think, but there is one from 2016 as well, if I recall correct. And this is actually the nicer one. At least I like it more, because she has this really colorful hair, the really colorful twin tails, because it's the racing Miku from 2016 looks different from the one from 2015. And nobody is selling it. I mean, some people are selling it, but most of them are just US only. And I had a couple like people I got in touch with, but I never managed to score one. And so I was like, yeah, no, fuck it. I will just buy a new figure when it comes out. And I also know eventually they will bring out a new like racing Miku with a bike, because basically at some point they stopped with the bike collaboration. They just do now racing Miku for motorsport, MotoGP, I guess, is it, where they have their own racing team. But I know for a fact at some point they will do bikes as well, because, you know, why shouldn't they? It's just. Maybe there will be some new bike anime like Yowamushi Pedal was, and then people are getting hyped about biking as well, and then they will say, oh, we need a bike Miku again, and then they will bring one. But now apparently in October, and this isn't far away anymore. I mean, now it's tomorrow August starts, so it's just 2.5 months. I guess in October the trading anime starts, the FX Warrior Kurumi one, that I will definitely watch and definitely buy some figures when they are. I wonder what kind of figures they might come up with this one. If they might, because I know there will be like Nandos and pop-up parades and all that, like basic stuff that I might not be interested in. But if there is a nice little scale figure, if they will make some like base with some charts in the back and stuff like that, it would be interesting to have. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Not so much looking forward to October in general as a concept, because I'm not allowed to eat sweets in October by my self-imposed rule, but you know, still. Okay, so now we have a second part that is concrete-ish colored. Let's put it over here and take the other side. A part so nice you paint it twice. That's like a real difference, you know. Like this is the primer side, and that's the other one. Look, it's not like just a lighter shade, but it's also like more structured, more textured. Looks like concrete. It does what the package says. Interesting. So what's up? What's up? What's up? Okay. So what's up with the water? It's so good. It's so cold. So good. My God. And I just wetted my diorama. Oh well. It's just water. No harm. It's not even like some what's it called? Soda. So funny that a soda is basically just like a Coke or something, while we would say a soda water is like just sparkling water, just like pure water with some carbonation going. Yeah, I really like cold drinks, especially in the summer. Oh my God. I know people always say you shouldn't drink cold stuff in the summer because your body has to reheat it and spend energy to reheat it, but I don't know. Basically, I have the feeling that it cools me from the inside. That's also why I eat my ice cream like very, very cold, basically almost frozen. I know that it's not the best thing in terms of taste, because most of the time it does not really taste like much. Because this week we got an icicle, like a popsicle, from our like company, and of course they had to buy it in the store and brought it over with the car, and you know, I guess they tried to be as quickly as possible, but still it wasn't like right from the freezer, and so, but it was still like solid. It was not like melting away, but it was still solid. And I tasted it, and I know how this used to taste when I eat it at home, the same one, and I was like, oh, so this is what it should actually be like, because it was like this smoother and like, you know, almost like melted texture. And I was like, oh, so this is how real ice cream should taste like. Not straight out of the freezer. I see. But usually I don't have the patience to wait until my ice cream melts a bit. I want to eat it now. On the other hand, like ice cream you get at the restaurant, like the open ice cream, like where you just like scoop it out, that always like melts too quick. Because when you get like a real big portion on your like there's this wafer thingy, it basically all spills over your hand, because you buy it in the restaurant, or you buy it at the kiosk, and then you step out into the sun where it has like 30 degrees plus, and so it starts to melt very quick. And then again, I see like those videos from like American ice cream where they take the soft serve ice cream and just stick it into hot water from the tap, and it does not melt. It's like, okay, well. I mean, I'm not a soft serve type. I don't enjoy those types of ice cream, because sometimes in my childhood you had them at like what is it called, like a swimming pool, like a public swimming pool, that served soft serve ice cream, and I was always like, yuck. I don't even like the one from McDonald's, like the McFlurry or the McSunday things. I mean, it's okay because usually they just pump it with some syrup, with some caramel or chocolate. But the base ice cream at McDonald's, like this vanilla thingy, it's just, I don't know. It's not my favorite. I mean, I will just eat it if I get one for free, because right now this is Prime McDonald's freebie time. Now I can get one item for free each day, or at least I have a good chance to get one. But sadly, to this day, no ice cream. But ice cream is annoying as a free item, because if you go there and want to collect your free ice cream, there is a high chance that the ice cream machine is broken or out of service or something like that. And since your voucher is only valid for like 48 hours, you have like a second chance the day after, but then it's just gone and you can't do anything against it. But if you get a voucher for a hamburger or like chicken nuggets, they are usually available. Has to be a really bad day if you step into McDonald's and they don't have like chicken nuggets left, or some cheeseburger. But it's crazy. Normally I don't go to McDonald's because the price is not like justifiable for what it is. And even now, if you buy those like free items, it's just, it just reduces your amount of the bill to zero, but you still see what the item is supposed to cost. And those, of course, the items you get for free are the smallest items that are on the menu. You won't get a premium burger for free, but you only get like the smallest amount of chicken nuggets or the cheeseburger or hamburger, like small and medium fries, and then some like coffee or like soft drink or whatever. Salad is so sad. If you get a free salad, oh my god. Because back then, when McDonald's started to have salads, they weren't actually that bad. I mean, they had those like shaker salads, and it was okay. They had a nice dressing. They had some like tomatoes in there and thing. But now if you get like the normal salad that they have, it's just like a burger box, and they threw in some lettuce. It looks like the things that they usually tend to put in the burger as well. So it looks so sad. And sometimes you get the basically, if I get the salad for free, I would just rather take the salad and throw it away outside, maybe for some animals that could eat it, and I just keep the dressing as in a pouch and use it on my own salad. No. But yeah, but it's ridiculous what those small items are now cost at McDonald's. I know that they had to stop selling food for $1 a long time ago, especially when they miscalculated, because like 15 or 20 years ago, they introduced like this $1, basically $1 menu, like $1, €1 for certain small items. And they were like, people might use this as a complimentary thing, so they will just eat a regular menu or a regular big burger, and then they will maybe eat a cheeseburger in addition to that, or maybe some extra fries or stuff like that. And of course, this is not what people did. People just bought the €1 stuff in bulk, and so they even, like, I guess, sold it for a loss, because even McDonald's can't really sell you a cheeseburger for just $1. That's not cost effective, I think. And so they eventually stopped it. First they reduced it, then they just got rid of it, and nowadays they try to revitalize those, but of course the items are not $1, they are just $2 now, and the selection is much smaller. But even with like inflation, because they can't do it anymore, even with inflation, some of the items are still too pricey, because even if I factor in the normal inflation that we had over the last 10 years, it should still be cheaper. And this doesn't really matter if you buy like a whole menu, then it's just, part of the game. But if you see like that a medium fry costs like $3.50 then you say, and then you eat it with like 2 hands of fries, or 3 hands of fries, and you say, I would never have like paid $3.50 for this 2 hands of fries. No way. Same goes for the drinks. I mean, that's even worse, in my opinion, because a medium Coke is also same amount, and you know, like McDonald's Coke is, it's not just your Coke from the fridge, it's just like water, syrup, water, syrup, water, syrup, and then if you forget to uncheck the ice cube selection that is hidden in the menu of the food ordering display, then of course you get a ton of ice cubes. I mean, I don't hate the ice cubes. I like cold drinks, but of course the ice cubes rob you of liquid. So yeah. And I also don't have the patience to wait until the ice cubes melting, so that I regain my liquid. And of course, McDonald's Coke does not taste the best, I think, especially if it gets warmer and, like, you know, diluted with ice. Nothing beats a glass bottle Coke. Maybe it's also that good because normally you won't buy it. But let's be honest, I would never buy a glass bottle of Coke for private consumption because it's just too small and too heavy for what it is. But if you go to a restaurant and you get a glass bottle of Coke, that's a nice thing. But usually I don't like drink Coke in restaurants as well, so Coke is like beer. It's like this one item that you can just blindly order in any restaurant because you know they will have it. And you know how it is in restaurants. Usually you get in, you will be seated, and the first question you get asked is what you want to drink, before you even had to look into the menu. And if you are not a regular at this restaurant, or if you had problems with the internet, oh no. Have you already have some power outages in Germany? Have we reached that point already? I had one like a couple of weeks ago, actually, when I was at work, and usually I can check some things at home via, you know, smart home, use some temperature and some the windows, the shades on the windows, and the cameras around the house. And I was noticing that the whole internet was down, and also my NAS was also down. I could not reach my NAS, and this is basically via LAN cable. So I was like, okay, either the whole internet is down, which would be pretty novel, doesn't happen often, or the whole electricity is gone. Would actually be the more logic conclusion, because, you know, we have a lot of outlets outside and electricity thingies like lamps and stuff that are newly installed, so we don't know if it's 100% safe. And sometimes we had this like last year, that we had a lamp outside on the wall of the house where some water accumulated inside, and at some point it reached the wiring, and basically it kicked my fuse all the time, and we took like 3 days to figure out what it even was, because, you know. But now we know, and if it happens again, we will check this lamp first. But, you know, there are a couple more of them outside, and so yeah, most of the time, if it's in your house only, you have to search for your own. Back in Vienna, it was easy. When the whole power out, when the power went out for the whole block, then you know that it will come back eventually. But yeah, but internet, yeah. And then but there was like a problem with the internet back then. There was my router was like blinking red, and I had to reboot it, and interesting stuff. Since they wanted to sell us a new faster line. Really? So you did not buy the faster line and now you have problems? I mean, I'm fairly satisfied with my internet connection. I don't have I have just normal internet here, like the basic package. Not the slowest one, but not the fastest one either. And I'm okay with that. I mean, I can stream, I can upload my videos in a relatively timely manner. You know, in Vienna, we always had the discussion because my roommate wanted to have this like super fast internet, and I was like, okay, if you pay for it, then why not? But he never did, because you know, for me, it did not have any benefit to have like a faster internet, especially because you aren't guaranteed that speed that they advertise, and so it's almost like you know, you're buying a cat in a hat or in a sack. Because if you pay for it, well, like up to that amount of speed, and then you won't receive it, yeah, it's just, you know, it's your problem. They will just say, okay, it's the problem is within your setup, or the connection is not good where you live, and so yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we used it for more than 3 years, 0 problems. We have the same here. 32 Mbit seconds. That sounds not like much, to be honest. I mean, I don't. This is like the thing. I can't really translate this into like speed. What is this good? Is it bad? Is it like normal? But yeah, I know that I have 1 gigabit inside like the network here, because this was like what my IT guy was like asking me when he installed the NAS, if I have like 1, 2.5 or 10, because 10 is pretty much very experimental, and that's the only thing that you get with the standard router. Because if you want to have more, like 2.5, you have to basically buy a more expensive router. Basically, you don't buy it, you just rent it. So you pay a rent each month for the router. And if you have your internet for like, let's say 5-10 years, it gets pretty expensive. So yeah. Okay, so you can watch to 720p then. That's a good thing. I guess I'm only streaming in 720p outgoing. I mean, the cameras here are only like HD. They are like 1080p. Did not go for the 4K ones because they were a bit more expensive with like with like basically the same sensor in it. So so basically it would mean that I would have use much more light to get the same image quality, because basically they just put more pixels on the same size of sensor, so you will need more light to achieve the same thing. And I was like, you know, I don't really care. I mean, the thing with like high quality production these days is it's like the Christopher Nolan meme, you know, he films it in IMAX with IMAX cameras, and you watch it on your phone in not even like in landscape, you watch it in portrait on your phone with like a capped internet. So, and that's the same with like home production. I can film with like the nicest quality with like 10 bits of like color depth and like 100 frames per second and 4K and whatnot, and then I will just compress it down to YouTube standards, and people will watch it on the phone, and you know. Or like it was the same with photos as well. I mean, you shoot it with your digital camera with like a DSLR, like 50, 60, 70 megapixel, and then you just compress it down to an Instagram post. Yeah, no, doesn't really matter, to be honest. That's the fastest internet speed we can get because our apartment building is still old internet cables. The maximum we can technically. Oh, okay. Yeah, they keep. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's such an interesting thing that Germany has really bad infrastructure when it comes to like telecommunication. Usually would say it's better than in Austria, but no, it's not. It was the same thing with like a mobile phone, like the price of mobile like telecommunication back then, when you still had to pay for minutes and SMS and stuff like that. And I went to Germany for conventions regularly, and I saw all those ads where they proudly proclaimed, "Oh, you can get this tariff package with that and that included," and I'm like, that's a hell of expensive, because even back then we were like basically just flat rate usage only and stuff like that. Yeah. But then again, there are like, I never visited those places, but apparently there are places where the internet is even faster, like on a regular basis, where you don't think about it too much, like Norway or something like that. I'm curious how good the internet in Japan will be, especially like on the road. I really have to switch though my mobile package, because for some reason up to this point I always I had enough data for a month, because I have the cheapest mobile tariff with like limited data, but up to this point it was sufficient. Then I even got my second SIM card from the company with also like the smallest amount of data that I can use. And so I was like totally fine with that. But for some reason nowadays, my data for both plans reached the limit like 3 or 4 days before the end of the month. So I don't have like data these days on my phone. It was a bit annoying. And because I guess for some reason, it doesn't connect to my to the Wi-Fi in my company all that well, because if the signal is like weak, it automatically switches to mobile. And also the same with the house. If in the house it's okay, I guess. Maybe in the basement, here, don't know, it's not the best Wi-Fi connection, but in the garden for sure it is not that available. So, and you don't notice it if you have like the mobile data and your Wi-Fi, you won't notice this if this or that is used. And so apparently, yeah. So I have to switch. There is now a new provider that opened recently that offers like more data for even cheaper. So I might have to switch. I've never done this, to be honest. I've switched once provider a couple years ago, but I also changed my phone number, and so really start from new. And that was a bit of a hassle. I mean, it's nice because you have a new phone number. This also means that you get far fewer like spam calls and silly stuff like that, because I guess it's mandatory, or it's a good thing to change your phone number every like 10 to 15 years. But then again, you also have to think really hard where you used your phone number, because if you forget something, you cannot, because every thing now requires like two-factor authentication, and then you will end up with a platform that says, "Oh, we just sent you a code to your phone number," and then you check your phone number, and it's the old one, and you don't have this number for like 2.5 years ago. Because, of course, your main platforms you will think about, like your banking or maybe some social security stuff. But there's always this one platform. For me, it was like, I guess, Steam. I mean, pretty major one for some people that play all the time video games. But for me, Steam, I don't use Steam like at all. Sometimes, like once in a blue moon, and then I always have like, oh, how can I log into Steam, or like some bullshit Microsoft account that I used for like gaming or epic account, like stuff like that. That is like consider a major account, but not for me. And that's the bad thing if you change your phone number. Because with the mail address that I had to change when I moved here, because the provider wasn't available, it was kind of smooth. Because I don't know, I guess I still receive my mails on the old address. I would have had to check, but I determined the contract, and I still received mails like months afterwards. So it's not just a thing where it's once it's determined, you will not have any access to your mails anymore. So, but yeah. Sad part is that really fast internet, even if you can get it, is pretty expensive. So paying $100 a month for fast internet is not uncommon here. And to be honest, this isn't worth it, I think. Because like I said, I can stream, I can download, I can like watch movies via internet. I don't use it to download like really big data, like games and stuff like that. So usually I don't care about the speed. And of course, the problem is, as a creator, you always have to pay more for fast internet, because download speed is often very achievable, higher rates, not that expensive. But the packages with high upload speeds, those are the ones that get expensive. And so yeah, basically have to pay more if you are a creator and send something out to the internet. But at least you can do those things nowadays, and nobody bats an eye. Because I come from a time when there was still fair use policy on the internet. Because flat rates were pretty much a thing when we entered the internet, because otherwise we wouldn't have like done it at all. So it was like post dial-up era, but still there was like this fair use policy, and back then you always had the fear that they could sniff you out if you consume too much data, because back then it would pretty much basically just mean that you downloads or torrent a bunch of stuff. If there was like 100 people with an internet connection in one area, and one had like this crazy high consumption, they could pretty much just assume that this is not normal, because streaming wasn't a thing back then. People didn't work from home. Videos like calls and stuff weren't a thing. So basically, this meant that these people, this person, uploads and downloads like torrents, and not the ones that they always say that are allowed. So yeah. It's like those urban legends where they proclaim that they could sniff you out if you had like an unpaid television setup. So they drove around with a van with a big antenna, and they could spot you if you just did not pay for cable. But I think those are like urban legends. Nah, that's a thing that nobody's using anymore. I mean, you could still see them in the cities, because they are still sometimes in use for catching like foreign programs and stations. But the satellite dishes those were such a staple in the 90s and early 2000s, that you have a satellite system. And I know that my aunt had one. Like, we always had cable, because cable was of course expensive back then. You had to pay it for it and for each month. And satellite was you one and done. You know, you basically just bought a satellite dish, you set it up, and back then you didn't have to pay any additional like cards or like SIM cards that you can watch the program. You just watched it. And so yeah, but I always like heard them complain about the image quality, and when there was like a thunderstorm in the area, basically it cuts out the signal, and we were like, oh, I cannot imagine that that quality of life, because our television was always like ready to go. So I was never a big fan of a satellite dish. Even though you heard like crazy things that if you want to watch Japanese television, you have to have a satellite dish, the ones with the motor that rotates and can, you know, dial into different satellites and stuff like that. I was like, was a bit nerdy back then, I gotta say, to have a satellite dish, or you just needed it to basically see your home country's stations. No. Oh well. But yeah, the internet is pretty much essential these days, huh? It's like amazing when the internet is down, or you don't have like data on your phone, you basically feel a bit naked these days, because everything requires an internet connection. Even like apps where you would like basically assume that they are local hosted, it requires internet to function. Some of your games might require internet to function, even if they are like single player. So if you have no internet, it's basically game over these days. It's almost like the same if the power went out completely. And the one day my router had like a hiccup. I was not sure if it's like just the internet, or if it's like the whole electricity in the whole house. So I called my mother and asked if she could like check in. She doesn't live far away, so if she can walk over and check in, because if I'm like out of the house for the whole day working, and it's now summer, it wouldn't be so good if like the chest freezer, for example, is not powered for a whole day and stuff like that. So if you can avoid it, why not? And she basically said, okay, the electricity is there, and it's about the internet. And I was like, interesting. Because that the whole internet is down, it's pretty novel for the router. Sometimes the Wi-Fi doesn't work, but yeah. Okay, so next part. Oh, I forgot the inner side. So many surfaces. Sitting here whole day painting and yapping. It's getting a real nice texture, I think. I wonder if internet, like satellite internet, becomes a thing. I know that some people are using it, even like here, where it's not really necessary to use it. But I know some people that tried out Starlink, and I mean, they were like, the problem is that we have such good internet connection already that you just basically don't see any difference. But I guess in certain areas, it's really, you know, a good alternative, or the only option at all, to have like decent internet. recently there was an interview where they just interviewed a guy that was stationed at the Arctis, yeah, the Arctis, because the Antarctis is the South Pole, so the North Pole, I guess, up there, like Greenland. And the internet was the connection was really really good, and they were astounded that it's such a good connection. And he basically told them, okay, it's all satellite internet, and they can even like do video streams now and don't have to worry about like data usage or cost. And so, because this was also the thing with like, you back then you had like if you want to have your phone in Japan and call someone, you had like the world connectivity phones. Damn poles. The northern and southern version, yeah. But basically, I can. This is like I just remember it because of this one anime, this one Antarctis anime that was really sweet. That the Antarctis, like the South Pole, is the one where you basically can't really go, and it's really hostile, and you just basically have to go there with a. It's a privilege to go there with a group of scientists. And North Pole is just like basically you can go there as a private person, see the northern lights and stuff like that. I mean, it's almost like Everest. It's a pretty normal tourist attraction these days. Where South Pole is still a bit more extreme. Needs a bit of more preparation. I don't know if I would like do stuff like that, like go to far away places, because I don't know. I guess it's about the memories, but then again, if you don't have someone to share those memories with, I don't know if it's like really worth it. If there is a tree in the forest and it falls over and nobody is here that hears it, did it really fall? It was about the sound, wasn't it? But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it would be cool, but I don't know that I really would pursue it. It's also interesting that you really you can't visit all the places. I mean, think about it like to experience it with your own eyes, to see it, to be there. Think about like there is a map and it's like 100% like in a video game, and there is like this fog of war, and the map is basically the whole world. And even if you travel much, I mean, you can travel like 2 or 3 times a year to different cities or to different continents, but still it would be like a person, and you have like this field of vision. But if you visit, like, let's say, for example, another city, let's say you visit like Frankfurt, for example, then you could say I was in Frankfurt, I have seen a couple things, but you would never like see the whole city. And it's the same thing with like Vienna. I lived in Vienna, but I have not seen all of Vienna. And I think there aren't many people that have seen all of Vienna, like every street, like every like sightseeing thing, like not even like the major ones, but I talk like every street, every corner. Nobody, I guess, does this. And so there's like even like your neighborhood, even like your district, your state, your country, you will never be able to complete the whole map, to be everywhere. So you don't have to travel all that far to see something new. I can basically just sit on my bike, drive in one direction like a couple kilometer, and I will basically see something new. I mean, it will not be like that different. It would not be like another biome, like in Minecraft terms, but it will be something new that I never have seen. Might not be interesting because it will be just another field, another river, another tree, but it's a new thing. It's a new area where I wasn't before. And so it's always like, yeah, you can travel a lot, but you won't see the whole world. Still so much to see. So also traveling, I mean, maybe I should like put this on a list sometimes, but it's also an interesting concept because I think like the human species as per design isn't like designed to travel a lot, because we are like only on 2 feet, so we have like a little radius that we can cover in our lifetime if we had to go everywhere per feet. But since there is also this sense of exploration, it is in our nature to travel. Because usually if you met someone that never travels or never leaves his neighborhood, it usually is not because of a lack of interest. It usually is because of lack of funds, because the person can't go there because he can't afford it. Most people want to travel, want to see new things, especially at some point in their life. I mean, some people have this in their youth, that they want to travel. Some people have this when they get older, they want to see the world. But at some stage in their life, most people tend to want to see new places. I guess it's most about the places. It's not about the people, because no, don't know. Not so much people want to meet new people. That's almost never the goal of those like travels. Okay, something fell down. Maybe it's to experience the food or see the places or the buildings and all the famous spots, but nobody ever says, I want to meet new people in this country. I mean, I guess somebody does, but no, it's not the standard answer that you give someone. Where do you want to go to Mexico? Oh, I want to meet some people. Nobody does this. And if you go to the South Pole, you can only see the penguins. Cute little penguins. Is a penguin cute? Is it a cute bird? Or is it like a flamingo, where it looks cute in animation, but if you see a real life flamingo, pretty messed up thing. Pretty horrifying stuff. I can totally understand this one fox that was it like 2 years ago that hopped into the zoo cage and basically slaughtered all the flamingos there because somebody did not like put them back into the house at night. Like they aren't usually in the open, and in our like Vienna zoo they forgot one day, and just this one day a fox came and slaughtered all of them. I was like, oh my god, I don't want to be that person that forgot to put the flamingos away, because they also can fly away, because I guess they have like clipped wings, and there might be also a net over the cage so that they can fly away. Poor things. Yeah, the flamingo. And they aren't even like that colorful to begin with. It's like I said, it's something that is very much romanticized in cartoons and in animation. It's not so pretty. But yeah, flamingos. It's like the same with like what is it called? Squirrel. They are also cute in animation, in cartoons. And squirrels are real bastards. In real life, they are pretty messed up when it comes to their behavior amongst other squirrels and other rodents. Okay, so now this is good. Now this is like a really it's like a nice cathedral wall. Maybe I will sell this to some tabletop, or like some Dungeon and Dragons, because let's be honest, this is like the side wall. Then we have like the one in the front, and then we have a side wall again. This almost looks like this thing you have in front of you, the Dungeon Master, the game thingy with all the rules in it. I'm sure this has a term, but since I'm not a Dungeons and Dragons player, I don't know. But yeah, looks like that. So now on to the Harmonia. Yeah, it looks nice. Yeah, the GM screen. Okay, yeah, like makes sense. Oki told me about the Dungeons and Dragons podcast that he listens to, and he also said that I should listen as well because it's nice, even if I don't play. So maybe I check it out someday. Because usually those projects are like prime content consumption times where I just need something that I can listen to. Because usually all the people that I follow, that they are like providing content for when I'm for normal like eating and stuff like that. But if I have to sit down for an extended period of time and do some mind-numbing tasks, I need something to listen to. And this is like the fast thing here. This is like very easy to do. I still have not done another project where I have to punch out a couple flower things. Maybe it's because I don't have the apparatus anymore, so I have to buy them new. But basically, where you can just make some petals and then glue it together for a flower. Those are the things that really take a long time for a small little flower, so to say. But this is a big structure, even if you take some time to paint it. Okay. Oh, hard cut. Oh well. What's the time? Oh, it's almost midnight in a few moments. So I guess I can paint this. Maybe I paint the stairs as well. And then it's nighty night. Nighty night. What about the ice cubes melted? And it's still it sweats so heavy. It's like crazy. Oh no, don't want to have it wet. I need it to be dry. Oh well. I guess I need this side as well because we might see it. That's another thing. I still not sure if I will have to build the second layer on top of the side walls to have it even with the front wall. I have to try this with the figure in place and with the walls attached, because if I have to do this, I can still do it even when the other things are ready. It's not that hard. But of course I would much prefer not to, because it would add another few hours to this project. It's also getting pretty warm in here, so it needs a full day until the workshop temperature resets. That's the interesting thing. Since it's in the basement, it basically resets the temperature regardless of the outside temperature. I mean, it gets pretty warm in here over time, especially where the temperature probe is set up, because it's right over the PC. But usually it also goes down pretty fast again. So what about the weekend? Any plans? Watching the Rhine, oh, it's not it's the Main go dry. Some areas of the Danube already dried up in like Hungary or Romania. I guess it's because they are like farther down the river. But yeah, pretty crazy if you think about it. I mean, I've seen like the Danube freeze a couple years ago, which was already pretty bizarre, because normally a floating river should not freeze. It's not a sea or a lake, but you know, it happened. I mean, you couldn't cross it back then, but still it was ice in the river that I've never seen before. But apparently they found the skeleton of a mammoth in Hungary, in the Danube, because the water went away, and then basically they found some mammoth bones. It wasn't dinosaur bones, at least. But some mammoth. The woolly mammoth. So on Monday I will be live again, continuing with my Miku kit. Still haven't decided what I will do with her when she's finished. If I will paint something, because the color separation on this kit is also pretty nice with the whole skirt. That is our like extra parts. They are even pre-cut out, so it's like basically like Legos, where it's just the separate parts in the pouches, and you can just put it together. But yeah, don't know. There aren't also any faces to customize, because they are all printed. I mean, there are some decals you can use for whatever, but so yeah, don't know if I will customize her or I will like paint her in any form, because if it's not necessary, if I think it's not necessary, I'll just top coat her and pose her and display her. Yesterday I paid some figures. the ones I ordered for July that you might see in the upcoming My Month in Figure video. And also the second Girls Frontline figure, Figma. And I was like, oh, I ordered both of them, so of course I did. And of course they weren't released like at the same time. This is always what bugs me about those figure releases, that sometimes like figures that are meant to be together, like let's say a Ram and a Ram from Race Zero as a figure type, they come out but not at the same time, so it's a bit annoying because you then can pay double the shipping basically, or I guess much more because it's two individual shipments. But yeah. So basically I just ordered the two Figmas of the Machine Gun Sisters, UMP, and what was the other one? I don't know. But they were like pretty beloved characters in the game back then. Much fanon there was, much fanon. Girls Frontline, the original like story, but also like I guess the second game, because the second game just continues the story in a near future setting from the original one. They have like pretty substantial lore. I mean, I really did not like catch up with the lore when I played the game, because the original game's Frontline does not have a very modern presentation. It's very like text heavy, like there is no dialogue, like spoken dialogue and stuff like that. And I'm not a biggest fan of like this visual novel presentation, so I did not read much of the story. But if you like are interested about the lore, you can of course always like watch some YouTube videos that people are telling you about the story. And yeah, it's pretty like substantial and pretty fucked up. It basically is an alternative history, like Command and Conquer Red Alert, where basically like the certain events that happened in the real world did not happen, but certain other ones did, and so it shifted the history a bit. But basically, it's set up in the real world, so it's not a fantasy world, so to speak. So yeah, of course, and from a lore perspective, it's almost like Guilty Gear, where it gets also really deep, and you would not assume it from a fighting game, but yeah. But of course, there is also much fanon with the characters. People projecting onto their favorite weapon, girl, whatever. This weekend I want to work on my new project, and I hope it turns out nicely. I want to watch a few episodes of anime, and I really like to spend time with them reading. Oh, so yeah, so really sounds like a really chill weekend. That's nice. Oh, you are productive though. I'm constantly hearing about new projects. That's certainly nice. But I can relate. I'm also like always working on the next thing. Once one thing is finished, I'm already on to the next one. Especially with like video production. As soon as I upload a video, I already don't care about it anymore, because I'm mentally already at the next project. So yeah. Next one is a Figma with the bike, and I'm really not looking forward to film this one. But yeah, I mean, maybe I get carried away and I'm doing some stop motion with the Figma again. I mean, that's always nice to do as a concept, stop motion, but once you decide to do it, you know, it's getting hard to do it. Saying, okay, so this is also finished, and now we have to do the stairs. Stop and stairs. Bam. So what's the color with those stairs? I mean, they are a bit darker though. They are a bit darker. So let's try something. Let's try something. Let's take a heap of this thing. A heap. A heap of concrete, and mix in some asphalt. This is like so black. It's like crazy. Okay, mixing some asphalt. Okay, let's see if this turns out the way that I want to. Not if I get it on my fingers. That's not good. Okay. Maybe a bit more of that. Yeah. As for me, I try to get some exercise done this weekend. Take a little trip with the bike on Sunday morning, and then we also have a barbecue, a family barbecue again, because, you know, summer might also be over soon, even if it doesn't look like it currently, but no. Oh yeah. Maybe I can do this, and then I will just do another layer with the lighter one, just a really sparse filling. I also want to fill those like stairs, the front of the stairs, so that you might not see a gap anymore between the two layers. I mean, ultimately this doesn't really matter, because even if you see one, I just can edit it later on in the picture. This is only something you would take care of if you just want to display this. But in theory you could do this. In theory, you could. I hope I have enough material. Let's not try to waste any of that. Making some broad strokes. My poor placemate. I have to clean it once the stream is over. And by cleaning, I mean replace it with a new one. No, at some point I have to. One placemat a year. It's like a consumable item. If you want to have it nice, you have to change it, like your tires on a car or something. Wears down over time. Okay, so now it has this color and this structure. And now let's go for the white concrete one. I have another brush that is similar to that one, I guess. I hope so. There is there's a toothbrush in here. Let's see. Let's see if the toothbrush works. Let's see. I mean, yeah, but it could work, but this still needs to dry a bit more, I think, because right now it just mush it together. So I guess I'll let this dry. And then I come back and then I can reapply this more lighter tone to it on like sparse occasions. I don't know if I just liked this post or not. If not, I will never find it again. But I've seen like a very cool technique to basically do some marble texture on something with like paint and some what is it called, like stockings, some nylon stockings, and it looked really nice, like marble. So I thought, oh, that's something I might be able to use at some point. So okay, so those are the stairs. I will just let this dry because now I just mushed together the different colors. So let's set this up, shall we? Shall we set it up? Let's set this up. Let it dry over here. Let's just close this. Should I wash my hands first? I don't. Maybe not. Let's reassemble this real quick. I guess the windows don't really matter. So let's glue this in, shall we? I guess it's basically finished. Oh. Okay, look from the other side. If everything is in order, yes. Okay. So I will zoom out after everything is in there. Let me just. Okay. So now we have like one of those colorful windows. Tina. Okay. I mean, sure. Why not? Yeah. Okay. I need the glue bottle. I cannot. I mean, I can just put it on my monitor. Why not? I don't need to see what's on the monitor. I just need to see what's in front of me. So let's Avengers assemble. Okay. And then I need party pits that I've prepared for the window. That one is too big. Also too big. Now it's too small. Not good. That's the problem if you don't measure, you just guess. But I have a second chance, so we're still good. We're still good. Okay, so let's put a little glue on here. Should I measure this? Where is the middle? So this is like 14, so 7 would be the middle thing. So it's a nice little window. Okay, so then this other bit here. Oh, that works perfect. Okay. So now we have a little cross in the window. So let's do the other side as well. Let's do the other side as well. Here it is. Oh. Midnight dancing. Okay, let's throw this in here. Check it from the front, needs a bit of pushing down. It's like a really sophisticated, like one of those dollhouse built thingies that you can buy. And I guess nowadays they are much more streamlined so that people can actually like enjoy building them and not just basically like start from zero with two sheets of cardboard and like one sheet of plywood, but more like all the parts are. It's kind of like a wooden Lego set at this point. I guess for some of them you don't even need glue anymore. What a pussy way of model building. Whoa. So let's set this up here as well. How does it look from the front? It's not exactly centered, but you can't have everything, I guess. Bad thing is that this does not this does not work. I will just apply the glue here. So I don't know where this sticks. Sticks and stones. So maybe I have to hold it down for a bit. Okay. just managed to press in the window as a whole. The backside looks really messed up of those stained glass thingies. Okay, so now we have the second side as well. Just need to do the window cross things. So we have this base, okay? So let's set it up correctly. Now we need this front slab here. Okay. What about the angle here? Yeah, this leans forward pretty much, so I have to find a way to counter this at the final stage of the build. Then we have those two side blocks. Let's just make it like this. Okay. Then we have our pillars. Right. Also basically I have to check how to turn them so that it looks the best. Then we have our top part. I still don't know how to place it. Okay. I guess like this. And then we have the one side thing that we can place over here. This needs some support. I need your support. Piece of styrofoam. Yes. Okay. And then, before the internet decides to betray us again, I want to wish you a wonderful weekend and good night. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much. I wish you also a very nice weekend. Stay safe out there. Hope the internet stays over the weekend, because without the internet it's no fun. What's up with that? That looks a bit crooked, so to say. It's actually okay, I guess. It's an optical illusion then. So let's see if okay, this is far too big. And where is the other one? This is a bit too short. Oh, here it fits perfect. That's so nice. Okay, so don't mess this up, because I don't want to do a new one. 14,777. Okay. And that one I have to shorten a bit. But not too much though, because otherwise it won't fit anymore. It's hard to get it right. Okay. So I'm also like quitting once this is completely set up. Maybe we'll do a nice progress picture tomorrow and post it, because now this is like the final stage before it might be eventually completed. Because there won't be any more like major updates. I think the rest is pretty much self-explanatory. Just getting some nicer structures done. Oh. Okay, how is this? How is this holding up? Of course, it also doesn't work because the one is leaning forward, so the other one has to lean in the other direction to counter this. Yes, okay. That's actually okay. So now I can take the figure, grab her, put her in front. I mean, maybe really in front, not on the wet on the wet paint. So, and then I can just take the camera and move over in here, and I can just zoom out a bit, pan up a bit, and zoom out a bit, and pan up a bit. And so there we have it. It's a thing, I guess. I might even be able to turn this. If I help a bit, like so. So here it is. Current status of the thing. Yeah, it looks like those like doll houses, like those where they have like this old building, like kind of what's it called, scary house, haunted house. So the stone is actually fairly convincing. Not bad. I'm curious how it will look with all the stickers, with all the graffiti and stuff like that. Because if we zoom in to some of the details, it's actually almost too nice to cover it up with some things, but yeah, I still have to put some work into those columns, but other than that, yeah. And also the sidewalk will make a big difference, I think. Okay, so now I have to clean up the place because it's all like with this little like dust things from the paint. And after that, I guess I will just grab a little midnight snack, some celebration snack, and then I will just go to bed. Okay, so thank you so much for joining today's stream. It was a pleasure to be here and to get some work done. I even managed to bring my magnets with me. And yeah, next stream is on Monday, Plum Monday, as usual. Maybe I can finish the Miku then. And yeah, after that, it's Friday again with FoolTime and so forth. So we're starting into a new month. So fresh month, fresh ideas and fresh mind. Hopefully not too hot. Good night, and I will see you again next time. Bye bye.